Hello everyone, it's Mike from Chess Lifestyle, and today we are training just 40 minutes of training. Unfortunately, we cannot do a full session because I have a chess lesson to teach at the end of the hour. So this is probably the best time I can squeeze in some training today. And I think in general, we generally train a bit more than our 55 minutes, so hopefully I can forgive myself. Welcome, Gloin, to the stream. Hope you're doing well, hope your routines, your gym routines, your chess routines, all going well as well. And yeah, we're gonna get... Oh, didn't mean to click that. Yeah, we're gonna get into some more Woodpecker. So without further ado, let's just get into it. And we're actually almost done with intermediate exercises 1. Although, okay, there's 3 lots of intermediate exercise 1. I don't know how this is structured. I don't know who structured this. But in any case, let's keep going. Okay, so Lasker managed to lose this one. Okay, so black to play. Queen, queen, rook, 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 knight, knight, bishop, bishop, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So equal material. The king definitely looks a bit vulnerable, given the queen is here, the knight is here. So like f2 jumps out as a move. I think f2 is so forcing we can just calculate it. I mean, let's just very briefly calculate it. If rook takes, probably we can give queen h1 check, king takes, and then rook d1. Rook blocks, and then this is checkmate, right? So the rook can't take. If the rook can't take, the queen can take. What happens there? Yeah, I don't see an immediate follow-up. So, okay, in that case, let's go back to the drawing board. So f2 is definitely a candidate move. What other checks do we have? We've got queen c5, queen b6. Maybe bishop h3 is a threat. Our king is very exposed as well, so, we've got to be careful about some checks against us. But yeah, okay, so to be clear then, we're looking at f2, queen b6, queen c5, bishop h3. Okay, so let's go back to f2 then. We saw that rook takes is losing for white, so if queen takes, I'm suddenly realizing, what if knight f3? Looks very strong. If the king moves to, let's say, h1, where can we put this knight with devastating effect? The problem is white can also block with knight d5, right? As in, like, if we go knight f3 check and then we go knight g5 check, they can always block with the knight. So in that case, we could go f2, queen takes, knight f3, king h1, knight d2, just to win the exchange. And given materials equal, that's probably something we want to do. So it doesn't matter if they block with the knight, we still win the exchange. f2, what happens if king takes? Okay, that's just a very easy checkmate. Queen check if king here, rook is mate. If the king comes here... I don't see a follow-up. Which makes me think after f2, king takes, maybe rook check is better? But then there's even king e2. Well, what's the checkmate after this? There's also queen g2 check, king e1, knight f3, rook takes f3 is forced, and at the very least, we win by exchange. And I don't think we're getting mated or something. So I think we can go for f2. I think we can go to f2. Wow, so he just blunders the checkmate. Okay, that's very convenient. Okay, we finished the chapter. That's good. So let's see what the analysis was saying. If queen takes, knight f3, knight d2, knight takes f1, wins an exchange. Good. And what if king takes? I only saw a way to win an exchange. I didn't see more. This queen g3, knight f3. Okay, I mean, this is the top engine line as well. So we can be pretty satisfied with that. Okay, nice. And chapter complete. Glenn says both gym and chess routine going very strong. Fantastic. Oh, I forgot to change the scene. I'm so sorry. Okay, I was too focused on actually getting into these exercises. I forgot to change the scene. I could show you the exercise I just solved, but I don't think it's so... okay, let me quickly show it to you. If you guys want to pause it and solve it yourself, then you're welcome to do so. So, oh, that actually gives the answer. Oh, this is a mess. Oh, man. Oh, God, I can't... You know what? We're just moving on. It's too technically difficult for me to sort this out. Let's move on. But yeah, thank you, Gloin, for mentioning that. Yeah, welcome, Mark, as well. Can't see the board. Yeah, exactly. Too fixated on the puzzles. Would like to always have that focus in my games. Yeah, honestly, I mean, I genuinely think when it comes to classical chess, you should be striving for a 100% focus at every moment in your game. And if you feel that you're starting to like get a bit, like I call it like blurry vision when I start to like not be able to see the board properly and I'm just like unfocused. I always try and like get up from the board, either go to the bathroom, splash some water on my face, use the bathroom, or like walk around, maybe eat like a snack bar of some sort, just to try and refresh so that every time I focus at the board, I am at 100%. That's really important to me. And of course, I don't manage this all the time, but yeah, when I do, it makes a big difference. So, and there have been games where I've been able to focus 100% for the whole game because I use these strategies to keep sharp. But yeah, okay, let's keep going then. So we're still on Lasker. Finally, Lasker wins a game. Black to play. So of course, all kinds of moves are jumping out, but let's try and evaluate first. 1-3-6, 1-3-6. Okay. I mean, it's so tempting to look at this. I mean, this rook takes h2. If king takes, then we go queen h6. All the blocks look kind of garbage. If king here, and like knight h3, king would be forced to come back or go to h2. And then at the very least, whether it's h1 or h2, we can go knight g5. I mean, that's just winning. So rook h2, king here. Is that a move? But then we can just take everything, right? Or can we? Because queen can sack and then this rook picks up our queen. But we don't need to sacrifice. Rook takes h2, king g1. Then we can even just play like queen h6 or something. It has to be good. Yeah, I trust the calculation. I trust my calculation there. So it's queen h6, knight h3, and just knight g5. Okay, yeah. So for this one, I mean, if you get such a strong feeling about a move, I think you can forgive yourself for just jumping ahead and calculating it. Yeah, and if it's correct, then you save yourself some time. Oh, you know what? I actually know this one because I studied this endgame study book by Jan Timman. And, this motif will probably never come up in my games, maybe once in a lifetime. But the point is when you've got the pawn still on the second rank, you can move 2 squares, right? And this means you can stop the pawn this way because you can give your king a lift. Yeah, it's a really nice motif. It's called like the... I think it's called like the LeBron technique or something. Like, almost sounds like LeBron James. Or maybe it's Lomron or something. I don't know. I can't remember, but yeah, it's a nice one to know. But yeah, in terms of the hours spent on these endgame studies that revolved around this theme, I don't think those hours were worth it. To be honest, it was cool, but I don't know if it was worth it. Okay, I mean, fantastic woodpecker method. Really insightful comment to add here. The best move is, yeah. I mean, that's why I have some problems with how this book is written. Like, it's just some aspects are just kind of lazy editing, lazy writing. Okay, white to play. Queen, queen, rook, 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 bishop, 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 bishop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. 4, 5, 6. Okay. Checks, what do we have? We got bishop c6, got queen c6, we've got queen g6. Guess we've got some captures as well. But, I mean, our bishop is hanging. They're very underdeveloped. Let's start calculating bishop c6. If bishop c6, pawn c6. Otherwise, they just suck. Bishop c6, pawn c6, queen takes c6. How do they even deal with that? You know what? I almost have this feeling that this one was a red herring. And somehow, like, the analysis goes, like, bishop takes, pawn takes, queen takes. And somehow, after, like, king f7, queen takes rook, pawn takes e5. And apparently it's not crystal clear. Although I don't see how. I mean, I really wouldn't get red herring vibes from this exercise, but apparently there is. And to be honest, I don't see what we should play instead if this was a red herring. Yeah, I don't get red herring vibes at all. Just there's some distant memory that it wasn't this simple. And I bet the answer, no, you can't castle here. I mean, you just lose material then. Oh, God. No, I mean, I have to take on c6. I mean, what else is there to do? Why, just retreat bishop d3 or something and say, this is fine? I mean, they can even take on d4. Feels quite good for them. Why could this be wrong? Why could this be wrong? What am I missing? What am I forgetting? King f7. Let's go for it. Yeah. Brilliant. Why is bishop takes c6 not working? Takes on e5, king f2. Bishop b7. That's what I missed. I saw up to here and I thought there's no follow-up. But bishop b7. And queen e4 is winning? Are you kidding me? Why not just queen b8 here? Why not queen b8? Queen e4, are you kidding me? Queen here? Oh, and his queen takes c2. Oh, that's so nasty. Jesus Christ. See, I hate these kind of positions. I mean, it's so difficult to judge from afar. Like, genuinely, if this pawn was somehow protected, let's imagine, can I do a position setup? I can't. That's annoying. I was gonna say, like, let's say this pawn was here, maybe I can engineer this, right? Maybe I can just do this, this, this. And let's say the position is like this. Okay, this position is actually still good for black. I go queen g3. Yeah, and apparently this is still lost. Rook g8. And I'm in some big trouble. Yeah, queen f3, I assume there's rook takes g2. Yeah. Wow, okay. So, I mean, I had the vibes that this was a red herring, but I did not have the fear that this is a bad position. And actually, that's some aspect of chess that I really need to improve in, is having fear of the enemy's attack. I have very poor, fear receptives. Let's put it that way. Or I should say receptors. Receptors. Like, yeah, so bishop e2 just... Yeah, and that was the problem. Bishop d3 wasn't a very good non-sacrificing move, because I do just lose that pawn. But bishop e2 then means I can recapture on d4. Yeah, that's fair. E takes d4, queen d4. There we go, and we have a normal game. Other non-blundering first moves also give full points. Yeah, I did not find one of those. Yo, Arjun, what's up? How's it going? We're training some Woodpecker method. The grind continues. So, black to play. Okay, so quick evaluation. 1, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so white has an extra bishop and a pawn, but these pieces are very, very poorly placed. So, black to play. I mean, we've got a tremendous attack on the white king. White's like just hanging on by a thread with these pieces. But looks like we should have something. So what candidate moves do we have? I guess queen takes g2, queen takes h3, rook takes h3. Maybe even queen takes f3. One of those should be working, right? So let's go through them. So let's start with the rook sacrifice. Rook takes h3. If the king runs to g1, then we can probably go queen h4. And I'd be very surprised if that's not winning. Because we're threatening rook h1, the king cannot escape. That has to be winning. Although I need to be careful, there is one check. But I do have king h7, so again, I think I should be fine there. So, rook h3, if they take... Maybe I throw in queen f3 first. If the rook blocks, we take it with checkmate, so king h2 is forced. Maybe then I can just go rook g2. Because if rook takes, then I can go queen takes. And I've won a queen and 2 pawns for rook. They did start off with an extra bishop and a pawn. But I think I should be up in material there. So rook h3, pawn h3, queen f3, king h2, and rook g2. I think that's very decisive, actually. Yeah, a quick scan of the other moves just to see if we don't have like an immediate checkmate, but I'm not seeing it. So I think let's go for it. The only other move was queen h3 here, but then after rook h2, I don't really see what the follow-up is. So I like this one more. Yeah, queen f3. Let's see what the follow-up is. So I even just gave rook g2 here, but apparently queen g3 is winning as well. f3. Yeah, I didn't consider that. Yeah, mate is on its way after rook h2, f2. Yeah, okay, so actually, how much of an evaluation did I mean, okay, I missed checkmate, basically. Mate in 6. Wow, rook g3 is another nice-looking move to try and attack. But at least, okay, I mean, this is the minus 3 advantage, which we did evaluate correctly, but yeah, I guess we just had more, and I should have more belief that we had more. And probably, yeah, I should consider some more candidate moves here. Maybe if I got to this position, I would have. but a puzzle already finished at this moment. Okay, so Mark has a comment saying, in your calculation, you very consciously consider candidate moves at move 1 in your calculation, but not that much later in your calculation. We just saw that, I missed 2 really good candidate moves because I wasn't checking my candidate moves. So I don't think it is intentional. I think it's like if I see a winning line, then I don't need to look at candidate moves. So for instance, in that position, I saw enough to play the move, right? I saw a -3, -4 position. So that's enough to play the move. But I would hope that if I get to that position, I would stop to think of candidate moves again. Definitely, the further in I go, the harder it is to consider candidate moves because, it's deeper and more difficult to retain everything. And the more you complicate, the more chance you make a mistake. And then, incorrect calculation is probably as useless as no calculation because you'll just go down the wrong path. So definitely, there are some physical limitations, but in general, I think I want to try and do it. So maybe I'll try and do this a bit more, this exercise. Any comments like this, Mark, I'm very happy to receive and try and reflect on. Because actually, when I first did this woodpecker method, I mean, my calculation technique in finding these candidate moves was just so poor. And it took some effort from the viewers to, watch me do this like over 100 puzzles and be like, you know what, actually, I think you're doing this and this wrong or whatever. So, I really appreciate these kind of comments. That is if, you are like a half decent player that can give some advice on this. I mean, if you're like 1200 and you're trying to, redefine my calculation exercise, then, then like, I'm not so sure if that's so productive. I mean, this is off topic, and I'm not going to get into it because it's too long of a story, but I literally had like some 1,000 rated player in chat give all this garbage advice, telling everyone that he was an FM. And then I even played him on stream, and it was so obvious he was using stockfish. It was actually just the most horrific experience. Just a huge waste of time. So, advice, I guess, is not always welcomed, but I guess that's quite a rare case. Okay, so black to... No, I look at Lasker and I'm like black to play, but no, of course it's white to play. We're looking at white's perspective. So what's going on? We've got queen, queen, rook, rook, rook. So black is up a rook for a bishop. Rook for a bishop, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we've got 2 pawns and a bishop for a rook. What can we understand about this position? This king is a little bit weak. This is some bad coordination. Rook is kind of undeveloped. Queen is on the line of the king. Pawn is attacking our bishop. Got this pass pawn here. Undeveloped rook. A strong knight that might be able to get involved. Maybe a bishop that can get involved somehow. Be careful of the knight check, especially if the queen is exposed. So, okay. In this position, I actually want to be very ambitious and go for an attack on the black king. So what moves would help me with that? I think knight takes d6 is by far the most promising one. There are no good-looking checks. So I think we'll start with this knight takes d6. Okay, no worries, Mark. And just to elaborate a bit more on that bloody 1,000 rated FM. I remember he was critiquing my opening repertoire and saying I would advise to do this instead or that instead. And I was just thinking these are pretty whack opinions, but I mean, who am I to judge? And then it turns out, the dude's not even strong. It's just crazy. Man. Internet trolls. But let's calculate this 96. So if 96 pawn takes, queen takes, I mean, we pick up the knight. But let's calculate that properly. They should probably move the king up somewhere. Let's say king b7. Because if we take the knight, they take our bishop. So it's not so clear. If they don't take our knight, we are threatening this mate. And we're now threatening the knight. So let's say they take our bishop. Well, then we give checkmate. So knight d6. If rook a7 or something, then we can take this. I mean, it looks really good. So I think they have to take our knight. Right? There's no other moves, no other checks that do anything. So knight d6. If pawn takes, I guess queen takes check. And they don't want to stay on the first rank, cutting the coordination of these rooks. So either king a7 or king b7. So if king b7, knight d6, pawn d6, queen d6, king b7. Maybe I can go queen e7 check. Maybe king c6. Yeah, I don't know if I've got enough there. Knight d6, pawn d6, queen d6. If king a7, then I've got bishop e3 check, and that feels like a huge asset in the attack. King b7 would be forced. Then I can take the knight. Yeah, so in this position, they're basically forced to go king b7. What do I have here? Maybe I go back queen d5 check. If the king moves to v squares, I get in the bishop. If the king goes back to b8, I take the knight with check. If they go to c7, I take the knight with check. If they go to c8, then I can take this rook. So yeah, that's it. That's it. Okay. Oh, wait. If we go queen d5, what if knight c6? I didn't see that. Maybe, okay, queen d5, knight c6, queen d7 check. If king b6, we've got bishop e3 check. And then we pick up the knight. And probably we've got compensation there. The king is super weak. If queen d5, knight c6, queen d7, king b8, then we've got bishop f4. So yeah, I think this is still winning. It's still winning. Yeah, exactly. You can't allow all of these moves. So the only option was to resign. That's savage. Knight c6, queen d7, king b6, bishop e3. Leads to a quick mate. Yeah, didn't need to see the mate. Could just feel that, yeah, there's definitely enough compensation here. I think after king g7, queen e4 is important. You mean queen d5, yeah. And after king b7, yeah. Got the board the wrong way round. If king a7, then queen c7 is checkmate. When king a7. Oh, did I miss a mate in one? I think I must have. Here. Yeah, I actually missed queen c7 as mate. I just saw the bishop comes to e3. And that feels strong. Yeah, that's good. Okay, good to see you here, Peter, as well. Let's keep going. So, white to play. Got bishop, bishop of same color. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. White's a pawn up. Really want to make some kind of combination work with like the pawns making a queen somehow. d5 is my most promising looking move. Given that, you know, like bishop takes e6 is not making a queen with any of these pushes. Bishop a6 shouldn't work given that the king can control one pawn, the bishop controls the other. Unless you then combine it with d5, right? So maybe bishop a6 then d5 or d5 first. Both are options. So okay, let's look at the more forcing one. If we go here, they cannot go here because we go here. So bishop a6, king b8, and what about d5 now? If the bishop takes, then we push the pawn and we win. Bishop check, d5. What if they push the pawn? Then I guess we can take. They promote to a queen. We give a check, they come to the corner. We give a check, they come here, we promote, they take, and we give checkmate. So that's actually winning. So bishop a6, king b8, d5. What else can they try? They can also try take the pawn. But then I go c6. They can now push. Maybe this is a better scenario. But now we can push d7. And I think when they promote, we promote, and we're going to win. So yeah, I think this is the right move order. Okay, I guess both move orders are probably possible then. Although now, we kind of give black more options. I feel like they can even come here. But I guess not really, then we still push b7, so... yeah. So they come this way, we've now transposed to the same position where they took, so we can push this pawn. And when they push, we push d7. White is mating, yeah. So bishop a6 was also working, d5, yes. Bishop c4. Oh, I missed bishop d7. Oh my god. Oh no. Yeah, I only looked at bishop takes and I only looked at pawn push. I missed bishop d7. So maybe I need to consider more candidate moves for my opponent here. Bishop d7, what a move. I mean, luckily I still have the win with bishop c4. But I mean, that's very lucky. Whereas if I had gone d5, I mean, what if they go bishop d7 here? Why is bishop d7 not a candidate move? Wow, I just go king e3 and I guess, yeah, the bishop is controlling this pawn, so it's good enough. Yeah, that's not like... I think they should give that as a line of analysis. Yeah, bishop d7. That's something I should have seen. Welcome the Surfer Ripper. Hi from Michigan, everyone. Welcome from Michigan. I am in Sapporo. I think most of the viewers are from the UK. Although Mark's got a pretty funky name. I don't know where Mark is from. Mark Decker. If I had to guess, I would probably say like Belgium or something. But I'm not too sure. And Gloin, I have a feeling Gloin mentioned where he's from, but I don't remember. For some reason, Poland is coming in my head, but I'm probably completely way off with that. Welcome, Safsara. How's it going? Yeah, let's keep going with these exercises. Of course, you don't need to disclose where you're from. Yeah, no pressure, of course. Okay, so Emmanuel Lasker against the famous NN, who, as a junior, I used to think NN was this like infamous dude who had the coolest name and, you know, played like so much chess, but turns out NN just stands for no name. Oh, it was Poland. Okay, I've got good memory. Nice. That's cool. Okay, so yeah, no, NN just stands for no name, which means that actually a lot of the games against NN turn out to not actually be real games. Some of them are just like made up games that, you know, the players wanted to flex that they won such a game or something. But okay, let's calculate. We got rook, bishop, knight, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Very different pawn structure though. We've got this passed b pawn, which could become dangerous one day. Our king seems fairly safe, although there is bishop c5 in the air. There's this knight e3 move. Maybe need to watch out for, because there's not just a fork here, but even the bishop. Bishop is loose, knight is loose. Rook is very underdeveloped with the king. So, okay. What candidate moves do we have? Got rook takes d8 as a check. Got knight e6 as a check. Bishop takes f7 as a capture. Maybe we can try and take on d8 and take on c5 just to get out of the forks and win some material. If rook takes... So, is there anything else to note about this position? I don't know. Like, the knight on c2 looks a bit vulnerable, but... I mean, it's got moves as well. So if rook takes d8, bishop takes d8, our knight is attacked. I guess we can go knight d5. It seems like a pretty strong square for the knight. Yeah, because actually, after rook d8, bishop d8, and knight d5, you are threatening to try and pressure this knight. I mean, you're pressuring maybe with like rook f2, although there is knight d4 now, so maybe not. Rook d8, bishop d8. I guess one move that should be considered is knight e6 immediately. If pawn takes, then rook takes c5 with check. If the bishop blocks, then we take the rook. Oh, this is looking good. So you see, I actually almost tunnel vision too hard on rook takes d8. So I'm glad I considered some alternatives. If here, then this. If king e8, then what? Then bishop b5. Yeah, that's really strong. So okay, knight e6 is actually very strong. Whatever they play something like this. I can always just take the rook, the bare minimum. Probably against king e8, I can throw in knight takes g7 first, repeat the position once to win a pawn. Seems very reasonable. Yeah, knight e6 is good. Okay, so they took. Wow. Okay, they just allowed a very simple checkmate. Bishop b5 was good. Rook d8 was good. Yep. Okay, we got it. Good memory trained with chess, yeah. I don't know about that. I mean, probably the chess training does help with memory a bit, but in general, my memory is still very bad. Okay. Queen, queen, two rooks. Bishop versus knight. We've got bishop versus knight. We've got 3, 6, 3, 5. So we've got bishop against knight. We're even a pawn up. We're castled on opposite sides. Suddenly I see this idea to play like rook c2, queen c2, bishop. If rook c2, king cannot take because of this. So is this just a very strong move? Is there anything I need to watch out for? Any knight jumps? I mean, I'm literally attacking the queen. Could bishop c4 first be any better, but then you got knight d4 to deal with? Maybe rook c2. There's no knight d4. This looks very good. Looks very, very good. I think we can go for it. I mean, they can take here, but then I can just go bishop f5. Seems very strong. And I mean, this pawn feels better than this pawn, and our rook's active, so I think let's just go for it. Yeah, I think it's good. Oh wow, queen c2 was a move. Oh no, queen c2, bishop f5, right. I was going to say, queen c2 is a really weird move in the starting position. Queen d6. Oh wow, rook c1. So I was just satisfied with playing bishop f5 here. Let me see if black still... I mean... Yeah, I guess this is actually, you know, one of the points Mark brought up that I'm not considering enough candidate moves. But I felt satisfied with bishop f5, so... I mean, the engine does say -4, so I think that's good enough of a evaluation. Yeah, in a real position, real game, of course you should stop and see if you've got anything better, which I think I would do. I wouldn't just blitz out bishop f5. But I think for the purposes of playing the move, I don't need to see the very best move. That can come later. As long as I've got enough of an advantage, that's already good enough. But yeah, rook c1 is cool. Would never consider playing such a move. I mean, you would need to be sure. Rook c1, king c1, rook c8, king d2. Then you can probably take. Yeah, you can just take the queen then if the king is blocking. Okay, that makes sense. So if rook c1, king h2, And probably bishop e6 is very strong. Yeah, this looks very, very good. Yeah, bishop e6 is almost leading to checkmate. They'd probably have to sacrifice some material. So okay, that's good. Bishop e6 is also good. Discovered check on a2. And rook takes f2. Also good. Okay, nice. Okay, see you around, Mark. Glad to have you here. Hope you have a good rest of the day. For Alisk, welcome to the stream. How do you study chess? I mean, that's a question that's going to take more time than I've got. I've got like 0 minutes left of the stream. Tough question. Lots of ways to study, lots of wrong ways to study, lots of good ways to study. Probably if you dig deep enough on my chess channel, you can probably find some good videos that kind of cover that question. So I wish you luck for Alisk. Wait, you got your Spanish speaking mark already? And also an 8 is good enough, yo. Like you don't need better than an 8. Unless maybe if you're pushing for like Oxbridge, but like why do you want to go to Oxbridge? Like I think I don't know. I guess everyone has their own opinions on Oxbridge, but I don't think it's worth the life experience to go to Oxbridge, personally. There's better ways you can live it. What is the latest age to start and still be a top-level player, according to me? Interesting case, interesting question, Sophisticated. It depends what you mean by top-level player. If by top-level player you mean top 100, then forget it. No, there's no late start that you can have, that you can get top 100. But let's say top-level player means reaching GM. I think probably if you're like already know the moves, you're like, half-decent club player, you can still become a GM if you have the time and effort and dedication to put into it. I don't have the dedication nor the talent, I think, to do it. But yeah, I mean, there are cases of it. Like Jonathan Hawkins is a prime example. You can check his Wikipedia and see his story. Yeah, he got to GM as a late bloomer. I mean, Mamedyarov started tournament chess at the age of like 15. So for him to become like number 2 in the world, I mean, that's also quite a late start. So it does happen with enough talent. Yeah, should we call you at the end? Yeah, exactly. I've actually got a chess lesson in 3 minutes, so probably I need to go. I just saw an answer in chat. So actually, on that note, I will call it a day because I don't want to reveal the answer. And hopefully by Friday, I will have forgotten the first move, which I did catch a glimpse of. But good job, Reloaded. Sounds like you got an answer there. Yeah, eager to learn on a fairly casual level. I mean, if that's the case, I mean, just play a lot. Just enjoy the game. I mean, YouTube has a lot of resources. I mean, John Bartholomew is a great resource to learn from. There are probably a few educational videos on my channel as well. So I wish you luck delving into that. And I think, guys, I'm going to call it a day. I've got a chess lesson to teach. So, yeah, I guess I will see you all on Friday for some more Woodpecker method training. Okay. Adios, guys. Bye.